All right, kicking off our arena segment today with some historic again. Loving this format. This was a build-around submission for a Temur deck featuring Domri Chaosbringer here. So really unique 4-mana Planeswalker here. It comes in with 5 loyalty, pluses to add a mana to your mana pool, and gives the creature spell. You spend this mana on Riot, which means it gains haste or a 1/1 counter. You get to choose. Its -3 is the real strength of this card, especially in this deck. So look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creatures from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. So you'll note that this deck has 31 creatures in it. Should have had this site pulled up to start, but rough calculation here. 60, 31 creatures, looking at 4, we want 2. With 31 creatures, we're about 72% to hit 2 creatures with his downtick. And we are 95% to hit at least 1 creature. Now, obviously, this isn't an exactly precise calculation because there's going to be varying amounts of creatures based on what you've drawn or cards you might know in your deck, but these calculations are close enough that they're going to get you good approximate estimations. Any more effort you spend getting more precise on this isn't really going to give you enough precision in proportion to the amount of effort you're going to go through to get it, in my opinion. So you'll notice here our only other non-creature spell in the main deck is a pair of Vivien, Champion of the Wilds here. So this can let our other creature spells cast as though they had flash. You'll notice there's a flash sub-theme here. We've got Nightpack Ambusher, Frilled Mystic, and Brazen Borrower. And she also impulses through our deck looking for more creatures to play out as well. So generates additional card advantage. Because we want a lot of creatures in here, when we played this archetype in Standard, we played with the Wild Growth Walker package, but I decided to give it a try today with this Adventure package. We've got 12 Adventure creatures plus Innkeeper here, which Innkeeper, Elves, and Lovestruck Beast gives us 12 good 1-mana spells to play out here. So let's go ahead and dive on into a historic constructed event with this one and see how it goes. Yeah, I think it's too cute, Marty. I think, especially with my 3-color mana base, I want Paradise Druid to be able to make colors of mana that my lands don't. Like, I think there's going to be games where, like, I just don't have a red source, for example. You'll notice in the corner, I've got the raid ticker up there again. They were happy with my last sponsored segment, so we're going to be wrapping up today's stream doing another raid segment. If you haven't installed their game before and you want to check it out using my link, really easy way to support my content at no cost to yourself. If you give the game a try and you enjoy it, you should pop on into the subs Discord. There's a bunch of folks in there, myself included, that play a good bit and have a couple of clans set up so you can chat about the game with other people. It's a RPG team building style game. Reminds me of a mix of like Diablo 2 and Pokemon video games, which are both things I played a ton of growing up. Hand needs some lands, but otherwise pretty good here. If we find a 3rd land by 3, the Bonecrusher Giant should hopefully cantrip us into the Edgewall Innkeeper into a 4th land. Yeah, I can see Growth Chamber Guardian being okay. I just kind of feel like I didn't really have room. Huh? I think I'm just stomping their face here. Because I want to play this and draw a card this turn, I think. I believe the title is updated, unless the Twitch dashboard is messing up again. Yeah, title's good. No, the historic updates happen on Friday or Thursday, along with the patch for the new set, or for the new group of cards. Yeah, right? Listen, I read a very credible source on Reddit that says the Magic Arena pairing algorithm looks at what you're playing and then intentionally tries to pair you against someone that's good against you. And why would the Magic Arena subreddit lie to me, chat?
Tear it down.
They wouldn't do that.
will walk away.
I'm gonna attack with both of these. Temur Outcast in the queue is Dragon Master Outcast. You want to see this, chat? Moments before the accident. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, I'm so dumb. This doesn't let us cast the adventure half. Oh no, it's fine. We're still pretty far ahead here. I was correct. There was an accident. It just wasn't the accident I realized. Little did we know we were the ones on the collision course. We were the ones on the collision course the whole time. Yeah, opponent's still packing it in there. Lava Coil sounds good. I don't know that I really want Shock. What do I want to trim? I think I'm just trimming Vivien. Sounds fine. Let's do it. Loving the stream. Well, thanks for keeping me around, Awakened. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday wherever you're at. What's up, Declan Scott? Wanna come say hi to the internet? Declan is so big, internet, he's going to kindergarten registration today. Whoa, dude. I love you. That's not okay.
Knocked your headphones off.
You did knock my headphones off. What do you think would be the best replacement for Angrath in the Historic Titan deck? Probably Embercleave, especially with Field of the Dead coming back. In fact, with Field of the Dead coming back, I'm not even sure that Angrath is still worth playing in that deck in Historic. I think I'm keeping this. I think we're keeping this. Darn kids and the rap music. Hey, thanks for keeping me around, Pylon. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Gonna get Comcasted here, maybe? A big pile of Mythic wild cards. You should check out the blue-white Devotion Planeswalker deck that we played. It's got a ton of Mythics in it, and it was really sweet and felt powerful in Standard. It was one of the favorite decks listed up on my website. I'm sure he's violent because of his video games. He does play a lot of video games. He's like his father. So, that new effect that you're talking about on the foil cards is a arena bug. The animation on your opponent's card sleeve appears on your cards that are borderless during sideboarding. So whatever animation their sleeve has pops up on your cards while you're sideboarding, but only your borderless ones. That must have been a misclick, huh? I mean, our opponent, even with that misclick, the Resplendent Angel represents a lot of power here, honestly. If they hit running lands for this, we could be in trouble. Maybe they thought this was Baffling End. It's very possible they're playing both. This ain't gonna be one of those quiet riots. Yeah, they could have thought it was Baffling End or Glass Casket or whatever. If they played a lot of Standard recently, Glass Casket is a card they're probably used to. It's another land.
Oh, what? Can't finish your job?
I think I'm gonna down tick this.
And done. Everything's in the right place.
No, there's not Pathfinder. Bans happen so often, there really aren't big reactions anymore. You can always find my take on ban list updates on my YouTube channel, or on my Twitter, or by typing !point bans in chat. Posted up a bunch of thoughts on them yesterday. So we could technically Lava Coil this, but they have Life's Bounty here next turn to protect it. Yep, opponent's in a good spot where both lands are good and spells are good. Okay, and they tapped off their thing though, so we get to do this. We gotta just try and pressure them out here before we die in the air to this. Huh? Oh, that gives them another flying threat. That makes sense. Let's just load everything up here. Okay. I'm really glad we have interaction, huh? Really glad we have interaction. That was it's a good top deck for the opponent. It's good. It's a pretty good top deck. Are they dead? This is 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Are we one short? Right? If I kill this, they take 9, 11, 13, 14. No, did I not count that? This is 8, 13. Oh yeah, they're dead, right? Sick. Oh wait, they have Angel. I'm dumb. That's fine. This is probably still right. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. They get to eat my Bonecrusher Giant now. And this doesn't die because they sacked their thing, so my stomp did not resolve. Is worth noting. Maybe I'm supposed to hold the stomp to stomp their face to deny them protection. It's looking like it's not going to matter, though. Really close game. Really close game. Frilled Mystic looking good there. This build seems sweet. Right, Hive Mind? I don't lie. When you ask a whale for a list with a lot of mythics, I'm gonna deliver. We get like Cavaliered here. Just like casual 5 mana on turn 3. Just kidding, Risen Reef, that's fine. Not expecting a counterspell out of them game 1. Just gonna hold up the Bonecrusher Giant in case they have something like Quasi-Duplicate I can blow out. Definitely killing this before they play the second one, though. Pretty good. Yeah, they bend an Uro here too. And they have enough to escape it. It is Vernash. As always, you can find my favorite decks from each day on my YouTube channel and my website. I'm gonna tag them on both platforms. Okay, well the good news is I've got Brazen Borrower to bounce their Uro, which is fine. They'll get to draw another card with it, but it'll get rid of the actual Uro. All the historic changes happen on Thursday. Agent of Treachery. That's gonna be a good game. I don't think I put any copies of Stroke in my board, did I? I've got a couple of Aether Gusts, and maybe I want Dispute, maybe. The YouTube videos get tags as favorites separate from my website. The website is literally just an embed of a YouTube playlist. If you just go to youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland, the very first thing you see is the favorites playlist at the top of the page. I think this is a Vivien out matchup again. I think you're supposed to trim the Vivs when you're bringing in non-creature spells most of the time. I think I want a couple of Disputes here also. I don't think I want to cut Domris though. What do I want to trim here? I don't know, chat. Alright, let's do that. Yarok tends to be largely an unnecessary card in Standard in my experience. The setup required around it tends to mean that you're winning. It's a win more card. We are going to play Yarok and Uro together in Yarok Field in Historic, though. Yeah, Field of the Dead changes the dynamic in terms of Yarok being a win more card or not. In my opinion. Paradise Druid was an excellent draw here. Turn 3 Domri sounds great. That's so frustrating. Our deck is literally 30 creatures and they brought Negate in. I guess the adventure creature changes the dynamic. I guess having adventure creature changes the dynamic. To set a low bar, Knight of the Reliquary will probably be more playable in Historic than it is in any other constructed format in which it's legal. Alright, well, up until we get Agent of Treachery, we're in a good spot here. The goal is to, like, try and find a Frilled Mystic before that happens. Unfortunately, this is an Agent of Treachery turn here. River's Rebuke. Yeah, that just happened. Not playing Breeding Pool last turn, costing me a little bit here. Could have made another 1-1. Getting Cavalier here, I assume. That is a very good draw. They have Spell Pierce in their deck, too. It's good to know about. I think we just let that one resolve and then plan to stomp it. It replaces itself, but I'd rather receive Frilled Mystic for, like, a payoff rather than just Risen Reef. Yeah, that one's gonna happen. Wonderful. See them attack with Cavalier here. They probably can't, with us having 12 power in play. It could get negated here. Alright, so this is the part of the game where our mid-range deck is kind of competitive against the ramp deck up until they slam a Hydroid Crisis. And, like, I can't even really do anything about this because if I counter it, they literally just recast it because Cavalier Thorns put so many cards in their bin. Our deck, our kind of like mid-range aggro deck is like exactly the type of thing that the opponent's archetype devours. We just don't really have a particularly good chance here, I don't think. So don't get to make a wolf this turn, but I think it's important to cantrip this and put more power into play. Do I just Domri and hope for the best here? Like, do I try and just fade 2 draws? I guess they're gonna get to scry 2, which means I probably want to hold up for Old Boy. Yeah, I think I just land pass. Just keep holding up Mystic. Hey, Celeris, thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I'm just jump blocking this. You can go either way on that one. Maybe it's right to get, maybe it's right to stop it. Okay. Okay. If I shock in a land tier, I can Gust and Mystic. I enjoy this style of deck a lot. It's not particularly good against ramp, though. Although we're not just out of this game, so that's reassuring.
Nothing like a bit of violence now.
Those are pretty close to ideal pickups. I mean, we take those. if I knew I was going to be playing against a lot of ramp with this deck, I would definitely have Disdainful Strokes in the sideboard. If I'm being completely honest, though, part of the reason why I didn't include cards for ramp is, one, it hasn't been super popular, and two, if you look at my big, beautiful deck, it's 100% borderless at the moment, and Disdainful Stroke, for some god-awful reason, doesn't have a borderless option still. If anyone can puzzle that one out for me. All right, chat. I just want you to know, chat, if we miss our land drop here, it's because you didn't believe enough. So I'm gonna need all of you at home to come together here. Yikes! You hate to see it. So we drew a tapped land, right? All things considered, as far as non-land draws go. So with that shock, they're about to play Boreal Grazer. Well, they could have a 2-drop here too, I suppose, right? Could have Mystic Disputer or Negate as well. Well, you know, whatevs. Gosh, Cavalier plus Uro is just so good. Good golly, chat. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I mean, if they don't have River's Rebuke, Trip Nightpack Ambusher could overwhelm them, right? Like it'll be on track to outpace Anissa. I said the words River Rebukes and how they have it. That's probably likely. Okay. They definitely have Finale. We've not seen a boar, but it's probably safe to assume they have it. I'm just supposed to Frilled Mystic that. Yeah, I said they have Finale, but we haven't seen Boar.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
We just bumbled for too long here. Even if we didn't bumble, this matchup seems pretty impossible. They just go way bigger than we do. My wolves are just not going to be enough here. Maybe they make some bad attacks next turn. They can ult the Nissa here. I guess there's a good chance they just have a second Nissa to follow it up. If they ult Nissa and only have 3 indestructible lands, that's probably winnable still. Probably them making a mistake, GH. I think the opponent's archetype is like pretty bad against most of the linear decks in this format, so I don't really know that like people talking about banning Nissa are very reasonable. Like, our deck's, like, decidedly mid-range aggro, which, like, is an archetype that historically just gets devoured by ramp. Yeah, historic right now is basically just standard plus. It won't be until we get Jumpstart and Amonkhet and a couple more direct to historic drops that'll change. This format is largely standard with better mana. I think they might have a Mystic Dispute here or a Negate. Pierce. Figure it out. That's closer than I was expecting it to be. If we would have hit our lands on time, I kept a little bit of a speculative hand with the land elf on the draw. If we'd have hit our second and third land a bit sooner and gotten the Nightpack Ambusher, I think if we would have gotten Nightpack Ambusher down by turn 4 or 5, we probably would have been okay that game, but it just took us too long to get our wolves developed. Yeah, the Jumpstart cards are going to be coming to Magic Arena, and they will all be historic legal, including the brand new cards from those sets. So those cards will be introducing brand new Magic cards that won't be Pioneer or Modern legal, but will be historic legal. Yeah, we're not playing 4 Llanowar Elves to mulligan hands, we're playing on 1, huh? That's not what we showed up to do here. My secret selfish hope is that from a content perspective, I hope by the end of this year that Historic is the most popular non-rotating content format. Canklebiter, did I see your 2-year? I feel like I might have missed it 10 minutes ago. If I did, I'm sorry. Looking at my event log here. It's a good start for us in the play. I think it's just a way for them to expand Historic in the short term, while eventually working towards adding Pioneer as a format, Mazer Mouse. Yeah, when Historic and Pioneer both got announced, they really, their lack of communication between their departments was on a really stunning display when that all happened. As is often the case, Wizards of the Coast had really good ideas that they executed incredibly poorly. Alright, so their Nexus of Fate, got it? Our double Frilled Mystic opener should be real good here. And we've got a bunch of counterspells post-board we get to bring in, along with Thrashy Bee. We also have Bonecrusher Giant to stomp them. No, that all happens Thursday, holy guacamole. Ideally, like 10% or so, Beansy. It's okay if you don't have the top spot. Just max your key. You won key hard, right? Hit the other one for a little bit. Max your key. Max your chest on the other one. The sunglasses guy is so good. We'll probably be able to kill the higher rank clan boss sometime soon, I think. Alright, I think as far as this matchup goes, I think this is actually a Domri out matchup. I think Thrashing Brontodon probably comes in here as well. How many of these counter spells and Aether Gust do I want? Bonecrusher Giant's good for his stomp. This is okay quick pressure. Do I cut Lovestruck Beast? I agree, Hat Crab. The fact that it positions them better now is so great. Need 3 more cuts here. Maybe this is just Innkeeper out. What do we think of this plan? I kind of don't hate it. Let's try this. Do you have an estimate for the number of decks that I plan to play on Thursday? Usually I allot 90 minutes per deck or so is my approximate estimate. Sure. So I think I plan to do 6 or 7 hours, so probably 4 or 5. This archetype has many similarities to Temur, Adventures, and Standard. By many similarities, you mean the similarities stop at we're playing the adventure package? Is that what you mean by many similarities? Kolar Bonetia, thank you for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. One of the things I always like to encourage people to think about that I think enough people don't acknowledge and recognize is that this deck has the adventure package that's the same as the standard deck, right? In fact, we don't even have the entire adventure package like the standard deck does. We're not playing Lucky Clover, and we're not playing the 1/4. Now, consider the fact that half my spells are different. That's like basically 50% of my deck, right? Because like my lands aren't different, but like lands aren't really the defining characteristic of a deck. I don't have any card draw left in my deck, right? So I just like leave that there. I assume this is going to eat a dispute. Stroke, sure. Actually, you know what? I should have played a tap land here. I'm just going to play this out. I guess we, like, technically bluff Mystic Dispute this way, but there's not a whole lot of value in that. That's a pretty good one. So again, Bonecrusher Giant stomps, says damage can't be prevented, so this resolves, but then they take the hit. Yeah, you can buff anything with channel points. So they don't have enough mana to take an extra turn here. Definitely will do, Rat Racer. So they're dead unless they have double fog. Okay, I agree. People talked about banning Nexus in this format, but I honestly think like a format where Nexus is playable but not busted is fine. And I think the addition of Bonecrusher Giant and Questing Beast gave... The issue with Nexus and Standard was that non-black, non-blue decks, if you didn't have discard or counter spells, you couldn't... because they had Mystic Dispute, Camaril, they would Mystic Dispute my Aether Gust. I only had 4 mana. Mystic Dispute counters blue spells for 1. I think because red gets Bonecrusher Giant and green gets Questing Beast, now every color except white basically has a good way to interact with them, and white has plenty of enchantment removal. So I think it's pretty reasonable. The actual exclamation point raid's not showing up super well in the overlay. So we're doing another raid sponsored stream today. It's a game I play a ton of offline, and they were happy with our last segment. So if you didn't give them an install last time we did one, easy way to support my content is to check them out on Android, iOS, or PC using my link. If you enjoy the game after you give it a go, feel free to pop in the subs Discord. We got a bunch of people that chat about it in there and a couple of Hooglandia themed clans. There was a card named Insult to Injury that does what Bonecrusher did when Nexus and Standard. Sure, but that card wasn't very playable. Putting the types of effects that stop fogs on otherwise playable cards is key. Because again, the reason why a card like Nexus of Fate is so obnoxious is because it required specific answers out of your sideboard. When you allow a card like that to be answered by more generic cards, it becomes less offensive. So another, I can't use the adventure half when you down tick with Vivien, so we're just gonna get some doggos here, just like triple doggo. Donald Trump is going to devour Joe Biden because of his myriads of both gaffes and him just being him intentionally in the general election. Good moderate Democrats tend to not win elections. A bad moderate candidate like Joe Biden's probably going to get eaten alive. His literal only thing he has going for him is I'm not Donald Trump. And hopefully that's enough. Hopefully there's enough people that are disenfranchised with what's going on that simply not being Donald Trump is good enough. Do I block here? There's a chance they're playing that +2/+2 card. I feel like I just take this on the nose and I shouldn't have played this out yet. Biden called an auto worker in Michigan today a horse's ass and told him to shut up. That's the electable candidate. Yes, the electable candidate is the one that it took them 30 years to win. It took them 30 years to finally win a primary. Oh, I'm aware he hasn't won. That's why I'm making a case for why you should vote for Bernie. Bernie can still win the nomination, and it would be great if you helped him if you still have an election to vote in. I'm going to cast my early vote in Illinois on Thursday. Definitely want Shock and Lava Coil here as some cheap removal. Do I? Maybe I don't. I guess we don't really know what they're doing. They're probably playing... They probably have Archon, so having Lava Coil is probably good for killing Archon. Trim a couple of Viviens. Trim a Paradise Druid. Trim a Domri. They seem like they're a little bit lower to the ground, so I don't necessarily need my piles of card advantage here. And like I still have Innkeeper as card advantage. Yeah, that could very well be the case, Brecken. His VP will likely be another moderate though, so. Correct. Yeah, we don't know who his VP is. The CN needs a red source real bad, but if it finds one, it's very good. Perfect. Let's cast this like this so I can hold up either of these this turn. Has the plus icon always been by the cursor? It hasn't. I don't know what that means. Anybody know what the plus icon means? The MTGO League today went all right. It's the special whale icon. Listen, we take that around here, okay? Your cursor is loose, tighten it with a Phillips head screwdriver. Is Deckmaster down? Nope. think I just want to start getting my wolf packs going here. Go wide around the champion while we hit them in the air a little bit. $250 is the goal they gave me. I'd be kind of surprised if we hit that goal again today. We actually ended up doing like $295 last time, I think was the final count. We'd figure out something to do special if we hit the whole goal, but I'd be kind of surprised if we clear through it. We'll see. Yeah, if we technically have the all week to do it. I can't counterspell that because they have Destiny Spinner. So, resolves. Yep. Allure and Cold Heart are great. Those are both champs I have 6-starred and maxed. Now, if you've already installed it, don't worry about it. Not trying to game the system. I think I want to get this down, even though it means I don't get a wolf this turn. Feels like this game's run away at this point. Citizen Champions just like provided them so much value here. And like my Frilled Mystic's not live because of their Destiny Spinner. Alright, I can counter. This just stops creatures from being countered too, right? Yeah. You hate their ads? I mean, hating the volume of their ads is fine. I actually think their what's it called ones are pretty funny. They're ones where they have like the characters going to therapy and stuff. They made me chuckle. All right, I'm cutting the shock. Thrashing Brontodon for their Exile enchantment seems good. Clipsy, thanks for the 23 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, the fact that there's a visual indicator that spells are uncounterable is very, very good. I agree. Bonecrusher doesn't actually kill a whole lot here. Wonder if he's trimmable. Could also just cut the Paradise Druids. Let's do that, actually. I'm gonna play catch and release on that one. We learned our lesson. We're not on the play this time. Am I keeping this? I think I'm keeping this. I think. Hey, Sibanu, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. I think the funniest thing to me about the last time we did the raid sponsored stream was the number of Magic players I had in my YouTube comments and my mentions complaining that I was promoting a game with loot boxes in it. Which is just like, it's really just like the complete and total lack of self-awareness that it takes to be a Magic player and complain about that is just like, it's really funny. In like in a sad kind of way. The other part was I had players complaining that we invented loot boxes, correct. That is exactly correct. We invented loot boxes in Magic. They were like, oh, you promote this on a channel that's content for children. It's like, my channel is really not content for children. And I've got YouTube metrics to back that up. If we hit a Brazen Borrower next turn or a string of adventure creatures, we might be okay here, but the champion's probably going to get out of hand pretty quickly here, I imagine. Loot boxes are different than boosters. They have better odds. They were acting like children, so their misunderstanding is warranted. That's the best take. So they can technically trade Frilled Mystic for Brontodon here, or they can just bounce off of it. They also might not want to block because like the threat of Brazen Borrower or Bonecrusher Giant here. Yeah, we're pretty dead. Feels rough. That 2 and 2. We had 2 and 2, and again, like, you know, you only got a 2 and 2 to get your 1,000 gold back. Yeah, I think like one of the matches we lost was to Ramp, and like if you told me we were gonna play against Ramp with this deck, like I said during the match, I would definitely construct my sideboard differently. I think this deck's probably okay against aggro, and it's probably fine against control. I think if you're looking to attack Ramp, you definitely need Disdainful Strokes out of the sideboard, just like 4 Frilled Mystics and Aether Gust was just not enough. So, I really like this style of deck. I think the assessment that like what it's doing is just this. I honestly, this deck felt like it had very similar issues to the black-white deck we played this morning in Pioneer, which again, this is kind of a problem across formats in Magic right now. Like, being kind of middling is not really a great place to be. You don't want to be a little aggressive but still interactive. You either want to be, like Magic right now to me feels like it's about extremes. It's about getting fully underneath people and being quick, or going fully over the top and being super interactive. And I feel like these decks that kind of try and split the difference end up really struggling to do that. Someone drew a parallel to this deck to the standard build, and I think this deck's very different than the standard build in that this deck's not trying to go way over the top like the standard build does. The reason why Temur Adventures in Standard has been so powerful and so successful is that the Clover, in conjunction with the Escape to the Wilds and the Wish Fae, these are cards that generate incredible card advantage that's really hard for anyone to keep up with. I've still got mine from yesterday, Trombone. I think I'm gonna crack them on stream this afternoon. All right, at any rate, we are going to roll from one Temur deck into another. I'm gonna hit a quick ad roll while I get things set up to flip over. And when we get back, we are gonna take a crack at this aggressively slanted Temur deck in Standard coming up next. Be back in just a few. Thanks for hanging out today, folks.